The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. We're just going to be waiting another minute for people to join, and then we'll get started with the presentation. All right, it's 10:01 here Pacific time, so let's get started. So thank you for joining us today for the presentation of our newest premium add-on Profile Match and Merge. My name is Margot, and I am the Inside Sales and Account Manager at RoomKeyPMS, and I will also be your go-to person when and if you decide to move forward with the adoption of Profile Match and Merge for your property or for your properties. So just a couple of webinar rules before we get started. As you may have noticed, all of you are currently on mute for this session. So feel free to use the chat and the question tab to communicate with Rod, who will be our moderator today. And then we'll have our Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So during our time this morning, I will go over the items of this agenda. I'll tell you first more about Profile Match and Merge and how you can benefit from this add-on to your hotel. And then I'll go over some scenarios and show you the feature in action. I'll go over the pricing structure as well and a couple of feedbacks from our current clients that have adopted Profile Match and Merge. And finally, I'll give you the floor for your questions. So again, feel free to write them in the chat throughout the session. Rod will be compiling them as they come, and then I'll go over them at the end. So what is Profile Match and Merge? So some of you are probably familiar with our current merge profile functionalities in RoomKey. Some of you may not, and that's okay. Profile Match and Merge is actually going many steps further than what we're currently proposing in our system. So use artificial intelligence to create better guest experiences. So what does this mean? It means that we've created a program, an add-on feature that uses artificial intelligence to provide a smarter way to combine. So in a nutshell, we give you the opportunity to easily merge your duplicate profiles in a much faster way and by keeping as much data as possible from all the records to be combined. So how would this help your hotel? To answer this question, I've highlighted 4 key points. So first of all, the main reason for using Profile Match and Merge is to enhance your guest experience. Having the insurance basically that your data is accurate gives you confidence when interacting with your guests, whether it's on the phone during a reservation process or to expedite your check-in process. It's really all about showing your guests that you know them, and that's all bonus point. Then we have the great value of giving time back to yourself and to your team to focus on other tasks. As mentioned earlier, manually merging your guest profile can take hours and even more when it's not done regularly. But with Profile Match and Merge, what used to be hours of work are now minutes, which means that you have time to focus on other aspects of your guest's experience. Another key point of the feature is to improve your marketing results. If, like me, you've received in the past about 3 times the same newsletter from a brand, it makes you want to opt out more than actually read the email. So cleaning your database is really indeed important to increase conversion and return on your marketing campaigns. If some of you are using Guestfolio, the merge profile data flows over to be corrected in their database as well. So no worries on this site. And finally, last but not least, I would say with Profile Match and Merge, you get to stay in control of your data while using a sophisticated technology. So a lot of premium merging features out there do automated merges for you in batches, but that means that you don't have a say into the data being merged. With Profile Match and Merge, you get to keep your eyeball on the merge, and you can manage your records, the records that you want to keep, the records that you want to erase. So let's see this in action. I've created a couple of reservations and guest profile with different anomalies to create some scenarios, and so that I can be able to show you the capabilities of the program. So I'm just going to exit out of the presentation for a second so that I can go into RoomKey. So first of all, you'll be accessing Profile Match and Merge from RoomKey here under Operations and Guest Profile. Once the feature is activated on your property, you'll see this new icon appear. So when you select Match and Merge, you will be redirected onto our cloud-based platform built on Microsoft Azure, which is the most powerful cloud-based platform on the market at the moment. So by default, when you arrive on the platform, the program will be searching for the duplicates of your reservations that are arrivals of today and that are an exact matches. So let's just have a look at these parameters first. You can adjust the scope of the automatic search for your duplicate based on your reservation statuses. And and a customizable also date range. So from today, last 30 days, next 30 days, and also customize your specific date range. Now we also have added some matching rules thanks to the pretty sophisticated algorithm that runs in the background, from displaying strict matching to allowing small differences and misspellings with a fuzzy logic. So allowing up to 1 misspellings or allowing up to 2 misspellings. So for this particular scenario that we're going to look at, I'm going to allow 1 misspelling because right now, as an exact match, I don't have any records for my arrivals of today. But if I click here, allowing 1 misspelling, I have the record of Joan Cooper who shows up. So when I look at my record, I can see that my first reservation reflects the search that I'm doing. So this is my arrival of today. And my second reservation is my possible duplicate found in the database for Joan Cooper. So on these 2 records, we have grayed out information, which are the information that are common to both profiles and will not be added on top of each other when combined. And then we have bolded information, which will be merged and combined to the profile once it's merged. So at the end of the day, I'm going to have 2 phone numbers, 2 mailing addresses, and 1 mailing address. So from here, I could just go ahead and click merge my records right away, or I could click on view details and have a little bit more information on those 2 guest profiles that will be merged. From this page, you will be given the ability to manage your records. So in our particular case, I have my mismatch in my first name. So I have the ability to change or to choose the value that I want to keep. So in this case, I'm going to keep Joan with 2 N's because my email says here that I have 2 N's. So I can just modify this value. Below, I'm going to see a preview of my records that will be kept once my profile is merged. So here I can see that indeed I'm keeping those 2 email addresses, those 2 phone numbers, that mailing address, and we're also able to visualize the overall stay and reservation data of the guest on the left side. So when you're ready, you can just go ahead and merge from the button at the bottom or from up top here. But in the event that you clicked on merged and made a mistake, you didn't want to actually merge right away, or you may have wanted to click not a match, we're giving you the ability to undo your merge. So you'll see a pop-up window at the bottom of your screen that will show up and let you undo the merge. So I'm going to do it right now so that you can see it in action. So here I click merge, and then at the bottom here I have my undo, and then my records come back. And then I can just go ahead and see if I really want to merge these 2 together or decide that they're not a match. So let's move on to another scenario. I'm going to change here my my fields and my parameters. And here I have the record of Stephanie Byrne that appears. So as you can see here, I do not have 2 possible guest profile together, but 3 this time. So one of them is actually flagged as VIP here, and the others are not. So once you have one of your records that is being flagged as VIP, do not rent or opt out of the mailing lists, our sophisticated logic will override the combined profile to reflect this flag. So the assumption behind this is that if you were VIP once, then technically you should still be. So once I merge my 3 profiles together, Stephanie Byrne will be a VIP in my database. So I'm going to go to view details here because I know that I have a little bit more things to look at and to clean up. So you can do so from this, from the view details. And here I'm seeing that my title to start with, for example, one of them has Mr. So I want to make sure that I do choose Mrs. Stephanie for the record to be merged. And then here I can see that I do have 3 email addresses that are selected here. So because RoomKey in the database can only keep 2 email addresses, the program is going to be looking for the most recent 2 records. But here I can see that this is an email from booking.com. So I don't really want to keep this one. So you can hover over the email address and just click on remove value here. And on the other hand, I might want to keep another email that would have probably been given to me by the guest directly. And I'm just going to select the value so that I can keep these 2. Here on my telephone numbers, I can see that these 2 are the same telephone numbers, but one doesn't have hyphens. So I'm going to clean that data as well, and I'm just going to remove one of these values so that I don't have like too much data that are the same in my combined profile. And again, with my mailing address here, I can see that they're the same, but one of them is missing the unit number. So I can just go ahead and remove this value as well to just keep the one that has the most information. So now that I've cleaned up my record, I can just, again, go ahead and merge my records together. One last item that I'd like to touch on are the guest notes and the credit card information. The guest notes, you will be able to see them at the bottom of the screen, but you will be able to, so by default, we're keeping everything. So we're keeping all guest notes from all guest profiles, and we're also keeping all the credit cards that would have been used on for those different reservations. But once the data is merged, you will be able to edit those guest notes and to delete the credit cards that you don't want to keep back from RoomKeyPMS under your guest profile module. So now that I've run through the key features and capabilities of Profile Match and Merge, let's just go back to our presentation. So our pricing structure is based on the number of rooms that you have in your hotel. So up to 100 rooms, Profile Match and Merge. From 100 to 200 rooms, it costs $50 per month, and over 200 rooms, it's a customized pricing. That being said, we do have a surprise for you at the end of this webinar, so stay with me on this. Now I'd like to move on to our customer feedback. As you probably know, Profile Match and Merge is a brand new add-on feature that we rolled out not too long ago. A new process that we've set up is to accompany our customers in their adoption of Profile Match and Merge and ensure that they're having a successful experience with the feature. So Melissa, our UX manager, reaches out to our clients after a few weeks to collect feedback and make sure that our clients are using the feature to its fullest potential. So I've just gathered a couple of comments for this webinar. We do have a lot of other positive feedback, but I thought I'd focused this webinar on these two clients. So Alison Short and Zaina Jones, who have been participating to Melissa's program lately and have agreed to publicly share with you all their feedback. So please feel free to read their comments. I will be giving you a bit of a sum up of their general feeling and how Profile Match and Merge has been helping them so far. So for Alison at the Escape Lodging, Profile Match and Merge is, without hesitation, a huge time saver for her team. The chain is very guest engagement oriented, and they also have quite a high rate of returning guests, which makes maintaining an accurate database a priority for them. With Profile Match and Merge, they moved from hours and hours of work of guest loyalty projects to just merging their records in a few clicks. So what used to be taking a whole morning, for example, now takes 30 minutes of their day. For Zaina at the Stafford's property, she's delighted to be able to recognize her guests that have booked through the OTAs and able to keep valuable information. Besides being a cleanup tool, she's seeing Profile Match and Merge as a way for her and her staff to gain confidence when reservations are made over the phone. For example, being able to personalize their first interaction with the guest, to simplify the process and provide a great experience from the get-go. To, well, basically the endpoint would be to increase their direct bookings. So the process to get started with Profile Match and Merge is pretty straightforward. Once you've given me your approval, the really good news is that we can get your property set up with the feature within 48 hours. So once our tech team has completed the activation and synced your data onto the cloud base, I'll be sending you your welcome email with the next step and training documentation. And here you go. You will be ready to use the feature. So now let's have a look at your questions. So I'm just going to give you the floor, and Rod will be shortly sending me the question that you can send right now, or the ones that you may have sent throughout the presentation. Nope, just giving you a couple minutes maybe to write down the questions. Oh, I'm seeing one here. So question, who do we contact to get set up? So the contact would be me. At the end of this webinar, you'll have my email address. So you can write it down, or if you don't have to write it down, you can also contact our support team. They'll be able to help you out. Another question we have is, do we need to sign a contract? No, you do not need to sign a contract. The profile match and merge is a monthly fee, so you can use it, and then if you decide at some point that you no longer see value to it, then you can just let us know, and within the month we'll just cancel it for you. So I'm seeing another questions here. So will this feature allow our property to send an automatic email upon departure? So not from RoomKey, no. If you do have a CRM such as Guestfolio, that would be the case, but not from within RoomKey. And right now, I'm just gonna wait one more minute to see if I do have another question. No last minute question before we wrap up. All right, well, in this case, our webinar on Profile Match and Merge has come to an end. We appreciate your interest, and we appreciate that you spend the time to know more about our new add-on. There will be a recorded session that can be sent by emails for those of you who want to share it with your team, for example. So just let me know, and I'll send it over. And also, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a special thank you promotion for you, a little end of webinar surprise. So we will be offering all of you your first month of use free of charge, and at a flat monthly fee of $25 for everyone, regardless of how many rooms you do have, if you decide to sign up for Profile Match and Merge by the end of March. So my email, like I mentioned earlier, is right here at the bottom of the screen. So feel free to write it down and send me an email for the sign up, or if you have any further questions, any particular scenarios that you'd like to run with me, I'll be happy to get on the call with you and help you out. So thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.